Cadmium Dread.
Hey.
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 Hi.
Welcome to Cadmium Dread.
Oh, you haven't done that in a while.
Is this where it goes?
No, that part already happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I do it again, and then all our listeners think that it's me
Oh.
in the intro when it's not.
That was not.
Yeah.
Andrew Bennett. Shout out Andrew Bennett.
But what are our names?
This is your host, Mimi Nguyen.
And Joshua Karenka.
And we have two fine animators with us today.
Whoa.
So
Good
fine.
looking.
Yeah.
What?
One of us at least.
Is good looking?
Fine.
Oh.
Huh? There's a joke there that you guys, I don't know if you're intentionally not getting
We
it,
both
or...
know that Clam is the most beautiful.
They don't get it.
But together. No. Together.
Wait. Oh, shit. Okay.
Together.
Oh, you were trying to get it
Together
like
we're
a double
Doubly fine.
thing.
There we go.
There
we go. Now I'm an asshole.
We have
Yeah.
with us today Alex Turner and Chris Lamb, animators from Double Fine.
Hello.
Woo. Double fine.
Yeah.
Woo.
Is that a thing?
No.
No.
It is
Yeah.
now.
Every morning we we chant.
More chant.
The whole floor.
Yeah.
It's in unison. It's really
Stomp
creepy.
on the floor.
It's really creepy.
Cool.
Beat your chests.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, thanks for having us. This is like super cool.
No, thank you guys so much for coming out. It's a Thursday after work.
Pulling the curtains
Yeah.
back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fresh on our mind. Work.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Work. But yeah, Alex and Chris went to San Jose State,
Mm-hmm.
like me.
and
And
not me.
Not like Josh.
Yeah, I'm always the
Boo.
outsider. One day I'll bring a
Is
Santa
it,
Cruz in.
how does it feel like when you're in
Shitty.
that position?
What?
Because I feel like we're in that a lot. Like it'll be a bunch of San Jose State people
Yeah.
and one guy
Freak.
who's like,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, this is a very recent experience for me of being the odd one out of not being from San Jose, and it always makes me think I should have gone there.
Hey.
Talk about your selves.
Yeah, we were thinking we talk a little bit about school because your episode will be airing when all the kids go back to school.
Those little
So we had
kibblins.
tons of advice. And...
Yeah, this is the back to school
yeah,
episode.
give us
Yeah.
your
Play the back to
sage.
school episode jingle.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cool.
Homework.
Cadmium Dread. Back to school. Okay.
No sleep.
No,
No
sleep.
sleep.
So yeah, I guess I can just kind of
Yeah.
intro so I graduated from San Jose State in 2014.
This is Alex.
This is Alex.
This is Alex.
Chris or Clam. We should just refer to him as Clam.
You
Oh,
prefer
yeah.
clam?
What
Do you?
I respond to both. It's been in my backlog of to answer since like high school.
But yeah, so Clam was a few years ahead of me in school.
A couple years, I think.
Yeah. But
I graduated like 2012, and I think
Huh?
you were.
I was 2014.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So
According to your LinkedIn,
Am I-
that is correct.
am I-
Yeah, you creeped a little bit, huh?
I creeped a little
am I
bit.
the oldest alum? So
Always got a
far?
creep.
Yeah,
Ah,
I mean,
yes, you are.
Let me tell you about
He's-
the old days.
he's,
The
old days. Wait, but did you know him like in school or anything?
I mean, I saw him around.
You
but-
did?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I saw you around.
Mostly just like
Uh,
around corners,
What-
weirdly like Gollum walking down the hallway.
What fashion phase was I in at that time?
Bandana.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I had a couple phases during college.
All right.
So some people will remember me as the bandana guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
I
think I
was
just-
there
I-
during that time.
Have you guys heard of
My phase was just hobo. Yeah.
Have you guys heard of Green Day? That band?
Never heard of him.
They're local. Yeah.
Are they?
Yes,
live-
they are. They're from
Oh.
Oakland.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right.
You live
That's
in their
like-
city now.
maybe
They
the
live
s-
in their city.
The
Yeah.
seventh time I've learned that fact.
I think Chris was a big fan at one point, right?
in
Is that
high
right?
school, probably.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of.
Yeah. That was the first phase. So
Like
if you
eyeliner.
Phase one.
yeah, if you went to
It
the
was
program,
like-
if you went
Wow.
to the program long ago, you would have seen that version of me walking around the halls,
Wow.
and you'd be like, should I
Call the
say hi to
police.
that person?
No, it was a
Yeah.
bold. I think you owned it. You know,
Yeah.
you just.
Sounds exhausting to go through phases.
Yeah.
When I started school, I had like super long curly
Yeah.
surfer hair.
I remember Alex Turner with long hair.
It was like the water polo look, I guess. I don't know.
I remember.
For the audio listeners, he doesn't have long
Oh,
hair anymore.
I have even longer
You
hair.
have like a nice little like 1920s finger wave.
Yeah,
going on.
I'm
Is
jealous
that
of that
natural?
wave.
Is
Yeah.
that natural?
No, I spent hours in the morning
Uh.
trying to work on this do. No, I don't like my hair. My
It
hair's
pays off. No, it
Yeah.
looks
Thanks. Yeah.
good.
It's very it's
The
it's
hair
you.
is always
like,
greener.
It's
Like,
that-
I'm jealous of it.
If you want to do a caricature of Alex Turner, you have to nail that hair.
the little hair,
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the eyes too close
And
together,
tiny little eyes.
and then like the chin.
All the
I wonder if
features,
artists
Yeah.
can are better at becoming like self-aware of
Yeah.
our own imperfections.
I
'Cause
think
we
so.
just know
Definitely.
what the ideal is
Yeah.
too well.
Well, I think like because I'm really good at drawing him now,
Mhm.
like so easy, and I think
He doesn't even have to look at me anymore.
he's just really good at drawing in general, but he can draw me like it's very. And you ever get a drawing where it's like very honest, and it's
yes,
like
I
not
know exactly what you're
flattering,
talking about.
but it's like you have to be like
Yeah.
I need to just face up to this like this
Yeah,
is
like this is just
This
what
is
I am.
me.
I mean it's exaggerated, but like
This is
I
how
look
people
like
see
I
me.
look like that.
I feel there's a story. We might have this person on as a guest, so I don't want to like spoil the story too much.
Kim Jong
but-
Ji.
Oh, dude, I wish.
Oh.
Oh my god, my heart just stopped a bit just thinking about it. The possibility of him ever even it would be tough. We need a
Oh, he
translator.
listens. He definitely listens.
He's probably listening. Yeah.
He's like, what are they talking
Yeah.
about? I don't understand. I laughed at my own joke a little bit too much there.
I was laughing. I was just
Yeah.
being.
No, somebody
quiet.
has like a caricature that someone else draws of them, and it's a bird for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's just- they look at them and it's a bird.
Oh.
I definitely do that to people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, now at my desk though, I have if anyone draws like a good, even if it's like I the meaner the better, but like I have like a bunch of caricatures up at my desk.
Oh
of
yeah,
me.
that's the best when you have like the mean. Yeah, if it's like
Meaner the better.
if it's a risk of getting you fired from by HR.
Well, yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the peak.
But then like if
Yeah.
they're all, I think it's weird. Like if they're all super nice, then you just look like you're like celebrating your own. I don't know the way you look or
Appealing.
something.
Kind of, yeah.
Features.
Like I like funny characters.
Oh,
of
yeah.
like people do of me.
Yeah.
So. I guess do you want to talk? I think you should talk about your school.
my schooling
Yeah.
first.
Do you want to do a little recap or like?
Sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
do the last
let's
time on
go.
Dragon Ball Z.
Last time at
previously
San Jose State.
San Jose
Yeah.
State.
Yes.
2006.
Yes, please set the scene.
Yeah.
Take everyone back. They need to learn their history, you know?
Yeah.
Things are different now.
So
Yeah, they have a
let's
grade point
see.
average thing, right?
Yeah, the grade point average did not exist, and I think
Obviously.
I wouldn't be in the program. I think I was close because I did pretty good in school in high school, but there were some AP classes that I took because all my friends were taking them, and then I was like, okay, I'll take these. I can do it, and then I probably got like my first C plus in high school. Dropped my GPA
I don't know why
down
I'm
to
doing
a
that.
3.7, and I think
Yeah.
the program now you have to have a 3.85.
You have to have a
That's
3.85.
I would not get
insane.
in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
none of us would be in.
3.4, I think, was me. So, yeah.
So yeah, out of high school, I didn't really do too much art stuff other than I did take an AP art class, and that was kind of my favorite one because the art teacher was just too busy teaching all the other students that didn't care that she was like, okay, for AP, you have to just do like I think you had to do 24 pieces, and she's like, okay, you have a whole year to do 24 pieces. I was like, awesome. So I just did that like
In
throughout the whole
one
year.
day.
Yeah. I did that throughout the whole year. I made like this whole story thing. So that was like one of the only AP classes I passed, as in like get credit for.
Yeah.
So when I was going to school, I was looking into schools that were like, hey, like I got AP art credit. Like, where should I go that would give me a head start in the program? And so me and my parents took a tour all around California to check out like Academy of Art, Art Institute, Art Center, like all the private art classes. And then I went in there and I was really impressed because I knew I wanted to do something with art, not quite animation yet, but I was like comics or something. I was really big into drawing. So we were going, and then I was like, Dad, Mom, I really want to go to like Art Academy. I think it's like, you know, they have everything I need, blah blah blah. And then my dad's like, well,
Wait, where?
like Art
Academy
Academy
of Art, or-
Academy of Art,
Okay.
yes, in San Francisco. Because actually, backtrack even longer. I think I was a junior in high school. My parents did let enroll me into the summer program. So it was like a
Really?
6-week program.
I did that summer program there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 6 weeks.
6 weeks. I had like 3 classes or 2 classes. 3
Yeah.
classes. Yeah.
You meet a bunch of weird art people and
Yeah.
some chill art people. I actually had a class with Ann Lin. I didn't know at
wow.
the time.
Do you know Anlin?
I
Ann
know
Lin,
of her, yeah.
famous
Shout out
San Jose State
to
alum.
Ann Lin.
Yeah.
Shout out, Anna.
Speaking of bird caricatures.
I don't know if you remember that. We were in like a sculpting class together, like clay.
This is where I feel left out.
That's alright.
Aw.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Aw. Well,
You're not missing much.
so but my dad was like, you know what? These schools are all really expensive. I'm like, no,
Yep.
but I really want to go. And then he's like, let me see if there's other options. And then so he looked up online and then found San Jose State. And he's like, look, San Jose State has a program, animation. I was like, State, like, they're probably, program's probably like okay. So, but he was like, you know what? Like, if you want to go to Academy of Art, we just don't have that money right now to spend. We could probably do it, but I was like, okay, I'll just go to San Jose State then. I don't think I visited the school or anything. I just was like, okay, animation, it's nearby, but far enough where I could move away 'cause I'm from Sacramento. And so that's how I got started there, 2006. And let's see, freshman year wasn't really much of anything.
Yeah. At San Jose State, like the first couple of years, you're doing a bunch of like general education. and
Yeah.
stuff.
So I had a pretty typical freshman like year
pretty common.
one. This will come back later, but I stayed in the dorm rooms at the
CVC.
first year. Yeah, CVC is called Campus Village Building C.
You know.
Yeah. I know. Well, I do know
You know,
because my
Josh.
brother went to
Oh.
San Jose
Oh,
State.
okay.
At freshman year, like I was just hanging out with all the non-artists,
Right.
I guess,
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't know.
Normies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had my first class in the spring semester, so like my last semester freshman year, and that was my first art class with the program with Dave Yee. It was his first class.
Wow.
Yeah. So any Shrunken Headman listening, that was 2006. I think Dave Yee taught his first class at San Jose State. That's like a part-time thing. Art 28.
Did
Yeah.
you guys make a T-shirt or something
T-shirt?
with his face on it?
No, that was the year after.
Oh,
They
I
were
see.
kind of cooler than my year, and I kind of ended up becoming part of like merging into their classes and being part of their friend group. But
You
before
got to be
that,
cool.
Yeah, you were cool.
I wasn't as cool before,
Huh.
but then I got introduced to them, and yeah, I actually stayed back a year in San Jose State because I wanted to graduate with them, and not the class staff.
Wow.
That was a good. They were a really good group.
Before. Yeah.
This is again to reiterate, the GPA rule was not implemented.
Yeah.
Now they're a bunch of nerds.
I know, right? I'm just kidding.
So you're getting a bunch of
I'm
like
just kidding.
old timers like Marty Cooper and
Nikita.
yeah, Nikita Terra Duke. It wasn't until sophomore year where I started taking like I had John Clapp's class, and then I think that really opened my eye. Like oh, like these people can draw. Like people here can. Well, like before I had never met anybody who I was always in my friend group like, oh, you're the guy who draws. I'm like, yeah, I consider myself okay, but these guys just really put you in a humbling state. You're like, okay, some people here are really good. They can paint or draw circles around you, and then
Literally.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Perfect circle.
Perfect circle.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh man, I have a lot to learn. So I got really serious then in terms of like being very studious and like trying to learn like all the techniques and trying to learn all the artists I should be studying, and then animation happened when we got into the program. So after like couple years of classes, like entry classes, I guess, kind of teach you everything like drawing, painting, animation. And animation's where I found like, oh, this is like it's tedious, and I still think this, like animation is awfully tedious to do, but the end result is always like worth the time put into it. So I think I found that I just liked seeing that end result, and I would push myself to go do all the work it took to like get that end result. and then from 2D animation, studied 3D, yeah, and then graduated 2012 because I stayed 6 years in school.
That's okay. That's still 1 year less than I was there.
I think
You
the
were 7?
program.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I mean, I think the program is like, it's supposed to be like a 5-year
It's
program.
supposed to be 5.
Ooh.
And then at 5 years, I had felt like I had just learned everything pretty new. So I wasn't really like, I didn't feel like I was excelling at one thing or the other. So like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do animation or viz dev or storyboarding. Modeling, I knew I didn't want to do. I do not like modeling. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, so I stayed one more year to kind of just be like, okay, you know, yeah, I'll do animation. I'll take that as my concentration and go into the senior year as an animator. And yeah.
Was that a hard choice for you?
Kinda, because I also was leaning on storyboarding. You know, I like like comics. Like I was saying, that's kind of what it got me into the animation school in the first place. So I was kind of like, you know, I do like telling stories, but I think for storyboarding, or in terms of the difference between storyboarding and animation, I just didn't have many. I felt like I didn't have many good story ideas at the moment, but animation was kind of like, okay, you know, you just do a short gag and done. Or, you know, I like doing animals and stuff like that, so I would like to, you know, animate things like that. So I thought, oh, if I go into animation, I'll be able to do more drawings like that. But then ended up doing 3D, so you can only do human rigs back in 2012. And yeah, and my school experience was, I guess, pretty normal. But I was officer 2009, I think, to 2010.
Yeah, you got a little shout out from previous guest Michael Tucker.
Michael Tucker.
So we'll get to him.
I mean, Michael Tucker, like, I didn't really know him that well in school, and now that I know him better, I think it makes sense that I didn't know anything about him. Just kidding.
Oh, wow.
Love you, Tucker.
I like this cross episode.
See, I'm nice.
Got him.
Got him.
That was a complete setup. They told me beforehand that I got a little shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was vice president, and I didn't really do much as officer, as vice president. Like, my president was John Magrum, and he did a ton of like office work, like behind the back scenes.
And John is a storyboard artist at DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just
He made it big.
This is for your reference.
Yeah,
all these
done.
names.
No, I'm
Yeah.
totally just like
Josh.
Just
yeah.
nodding. Josh.
Yeah,
Is like,
no,
yeah.
I'm pretending that
He's
I know.
like making a
all
list. He's like, oh, that's another goddamn name.
these- Yeah. I'm terrible with names too. I've forgotten
I
everything
don't know
already.
what class number that is.
Yeah, I feel like this is like.
This is now the
another
Shrunken
generation.
Headman
Yeah.
podcast.
I mean, it's been that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Josh.
Shrunken Headman / Machine Zone.
Yes.
But there are a couple traditions that I started that apparently still go on
Ooh,
as
do
vice
tell.
president.
Oh,
So the first thing was I started that caricature wall, and we had an animation lab, pencil test lab, where it was kind of this like I don't know, what would you describe it? It's old room.
It's old.
Kind of. It's got a lot of character. All
It's like-
all the like, I think when the program first started,
Especially
that's
now,
like
huh?
where they would animate, so they'd keep all the equipment there.
Mhm.
And so I started a caricature wall, like, you know, sometime when I was vice president. I was like, we should have more like spirit around here, like club spirit.
He has some power.
While
he has some
yeah.
power, and he's like,
While-
I'm gonna do ugly drawings
Yeah.
of people and publicly have a
You know,
wall
while-
to show them on it.
While the other
And
officers,
you can't say no because I'm the vice president.
Yeah.
while the other officers were doing their duties, I'm like, you know, what should I do? I was like, oh, I'll put more spirit into this
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
or this club.
Yeah.
So I started the caricature wall, and apparently it's just plastered now. I'm sure our caricatures are just like long forgotten. It's just like if you rip
Oh,
the
they're like
characters
the lower
off.
level.
Yeah,
lower
they're like
layer.
the-
That is what it's like though.
Yeah,
honestly.
I
Wow.
think they're just like piled one on top of the other, and
That's
there's
pretty
It's like
cool.
it's like
Yeah.
a monument of the
Yeah.
lab or like the
Yeah.
program. I think like
Yeah.
now it's like become a
Yeah.
bigger than
It's like archaeology.
you.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Archaeology.
Art-
Oh,
I'm starting that.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. TM. Please don't steal.
There's some gold down there.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
That's our tagline. There's some gold down there.
Yeah, so that was, and then the other thing was D-Day. We have this event. I think D-Day was this thing that either the club or the officers were like organizing each year, and this started like ages ago, like way before our time. But then I took it upon myself that year, since John was so busy doing president stuff. I was like, okay, I'll organize D-Day. Like, that'll be my responsibility. And for some reason that kind of kept on as a vice president tradition.
Wait, but did you explain?
I still don't know what D-Day is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And D-Day.
We're going to war.
Yeah, what do
D-Day.
Rush the beaches with
I have no
your
idea
your
if
pen and brush.
Yeah.
if D-Day actually stands for something.
Draw-
I heard
Draw
it's drawing.
Day.
That's what I've heard. That isn't draw day.
Yeah. I mean,
Going to war, but it is kind of like war because it'll be a series of skits, and you basically do a draw off against each other. But
Okay.
the skits are themed, so it's usually like two themes pitted against each other.
Hmm.
So you imagine like unicorns and narwhals, or peanut butter versus jelly.
Okay.
And then so the students would dress up being like, and this was all just for fun. This was like, midterm time, like people are stressed out. They're like, we need to just, like de-stress.
Need
Like,
to dress up as a peanut butter jelly
yeah,
sandwich.
I'm gonna be a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and we're gonna make
That's
a skit
more stressful.
about.
but it's like SNL and WWE, like
That's
but
a good
with,
analogy.
But with
That's a
like
good, yeah,
but with, like,
good way to explain
drawing.
it.
Yeah.
references or like.
Okay.
It's just craziness.
Like,
And
yeah.
like
I can get that.
and like there's the whole. It's
I'm
open
imagining
to the
some
public.
sort of like art parallel to the Cosplay Wrestling Federation, which was an
What's that?
amazing
Yeah, it
panel.
probably-
It was
probably-
an amazing panel at like any anime convention you go to. I think they show up basically.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
like-
It's probably
a
similar.
Fanime.
That sounds very similar.
Yeah.
If it's just like characters versus each other.
Yeah, well they were like
They're
just
all in
it's
here.
all just shit talking.
Yeah.
No drawing involved or no wrestling either.
Well, yeah, most of the skit is actually just like the skit, and then the drawing is just like 30 seconds. Like
Yeah.
you do a real quick drawing,
Okay.
and it's usually
yeah, it
really
does sound
crappy. And then people vote, like you're like who, and then they vote by
They,
clapping.
they hold up
and-
like the giant drawing, and the
Yeah.
Okay.
audience will like
It's great.
declare like who stays on to get drawn next or
Okay.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
sounds-
so the
A little bit better than how it started. This explanation. Yeah.
yeah, there's some classic skits, but basically now the vice president, I think still
yeah,
Yeah.
is in
think
charge
so.
of
it's
that.
it's
event.
like a. If I remember right, it's like what people
campaign
would-
for.
yeah,
Yeah.
So like if they're trying to be vice president, they'll be
Wow.
like, I love D-Day. I've been to every one since I've been a
Yeah.
freshman. It's like a serious like political thing now that they have to
Wow.
like hit this checkbox to be the vice
Yeah.
president. And this is just something that you decided that.
Well, I didn't even decide. It was just like, yeah,
I'll
like
do it
I
this
did
year.
it because I wasn't doing anything. I hope the other vice presidents actually do more stuff than I did, but that's what came out of it. So
You just
I can at
added,
least
you
say
added
that.
a lot of spirit.
I don't know, man.
That was
Caricature
the
wall,
goal.
Yeah.
caricature wall, and D-Day are pretty big.
So I
yeah.
was
Pretty big.
my officer title should have been like spirit leader or something,
Yeah.
right?
Spiritual
one.
leader.
Spiritual
Yeah.
guru.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that was it. Yeah, and then sorry, I'm just going on. But this is my
No.
last story about school.
You're fine.
Yeah, continue.
This is a more serious story.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Well,
This is like
Serious
my
now.
final year. I think we're in BFA, and for BFA is our Bachelor's of Fine Art. Like we just
Yeah.
call it BFA our senior year.
Hmm.
And we had a guest teacher from, I think she worked at Weta, and she was like teaching our class, but it was her first time like teaching it, I think, period. So I think she was kind of new, and she wasn't used to how like
Mean?
brutal, yeah, some of the critiques could be.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Like
okay.
how far to go with students. I think going through the program, get used to having people be like, yeah, like you should really do that over because it's not that good. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Bunny called one
I
of my
should.
paintings wretched.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
Wait,
wretched.
Do you think she's ever gonna listen to this?
What?
No, I just have a story.
What's your best bunny?
No, I'll save it for.
Okay, well,
Don't forget, Tom.
just, yeah. We were used to that, and I don't think she was quite comfortable to, like, get to that level with us. So it was always like, yeah, like, work on this, but it's great, like,
Mm.
and I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's not that good. Like, watching my So I guess in my senior year, I didn't really feel very, like, I wasn't really getting the feedback I needed because I was building my portfolio, right? And I had done the first couple assignments, And it was always like, like, oh yeah, you like fix this finger or fix this thing, but nothing really like higher level, I guess. So I was kind
Your
of
shot is bad.
yeah, like nothing like
This
that.
is a terrible idea. You'll never finish this.
So I felt like I wasn't doing like I don't know, like I wasn't really like making much progress. And so we had the opportunity, our class, to go to Disney. San Jose State participates in that Disney Inspire Days. I don't know if they still do that, but
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't. Things have changed.
Things have
This was
changed.
10 years ago, mind you,
Oh
or
my
like
God.
yeah. Disney Inspire Days, we would go to the Walt Disney Animation Studios, and they just have like presentations and stuff for us. And then at the end, you get like a little like mingle with the Disney people, right? So I remember we were there.
Say it like that too.
Yeah, I was there the year before, and I was like, like it was mingling time. I'm not really a mingler, so some students, bunch of students crowding around this guy, Don Hahn.
Oh yeah.
Don Hahn, veteran Disney guy. And then they're all talking to him, and then Don Hahn was like, yeah, you guys like, my friend over there, Brian, he's a great animator, worked on like Iago and blah, blah, blah. And, we didn't know who he was, so everyone's just kind of like, oh yeah, cool. But then I was like, okay, like he's alone, and like everyone's swarming Don Hahn and all those other guys, so I was just like, maybe I'll go talk to him. And
You slithered.
Yeah, I was
you
just like-
slithered towards Brian.
I went to Brian. His name's Brian Ferguson. Hello, Brian, if you're listening.
Shout outs.
Hi,
Yeah.
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I don't know if you remember me, but that was years ago. But he ended up being like, I don't know, like he kind of helped me a bunch in my senior year, because that meeting I basically asked if he could look over my stuff, but it was, I don't know if he expected it to be like just a one-time thing, or if he knew I was going to keep emailing him for feedback. But that's what I would do. Like every Friday I would send him my assignment in progress, because he was like, yeah, send it to me, and I would send it to him like first thing in the morning around like 8 o'clock, and he'd always get back to me around 10, probably when he got into work.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like an old, like 25-year veteran animator, worked on Lion King, Mulan, all that stuff. He's a 2D
That's so
animator.
nice.
But the thing he told me, I remember, was like, hey, your animation's great, but I want to know like who these characters are. Like I have no, like, you got the mechanics down, but you don't have the character. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, if you were to think of these people as your friends, like who are they most like? And I was like, oh yeah, like there's none of that in there. Like, so I was doing a lot of generic stuff, and that's the thing that no one was telling me. And he told me that, and he kind of just broke down all my shots more high level, not, because he's writing email. I'm sure he didn't want to go over every little like detail.
Right.
So he basically like gave me that drive to like, look at my shots differently. And I think from then on, I was kind of like at a separate point with like a couple more students, at just like everyone else was kind of struggling with their mechanics or their, kind of the lower level stuff. And then a few of us were like, you know what, we got to do like more character shots. Like that's what we need. And I think that's what really helped my last few shots before I like, left school with my portfolio. I was like, these are the shots I need. And thank God, like Brian was there to kind of call that stuff out, because otherwise, yeah, I would probably just been lost still.
Wow.
And who knows what would have happened. But thank you, Brian, if you ever listen to this somehow.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
What do you remember?
I remember when I first met Alex.
Ooh,
Oh no.
I think I did too.
Oh,
I did
yeah?
too.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
But
me
you
too.
share yours.
It was at a pool
Hey,
party.
it was at a pool party.
For me,
Sure
it was like my first 3D animation class.
Oh, wait, what?
I was working like I was in the lab and I was
Oh,
like
was I in the back?
trying to
Yeah.
I was just trying to animate, and I was just like, I hate Maya. I don't know how to make this ball like roll. And then like,
And I was like, shut up!
yeah,
Try to work.
No. Basically, Alex was like, how dare you? You don't even know how much like you can hate Maya. Like you're just starting off.
Oh,
Like
you think you hate
yeah,
it?
yeah, exactly. That's what you did to me. And then you're like, let me see. Like, what do you need help
Move
with?
out of the way.
Yeah. And that is how I met Alex Turner.
And then I helped you, and your assignment was perfect after that, I'm sure.
I think you did actually help
Yeah.
me though, so thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. That's what you should do.
Oh
I
my
think. You know?
God, I can picture that.
Yeah, that kind of like sums up a lot of my school life was just like being
lurking in the back.
yeah,
of the
like
classroom.
being in the lab like 24/7, just like to practice and like get the time in to like fail a lot, and then like helping other people like helps me understand stuff more. So, but yeah, we can. I'll just so.
Yeah.
I also grew up like in. We have like a lot of weird like similarities. Like
yeah,
we
you guys.
we're both,
sorry,
like-
you have the same area code.
yeah, so we're
We
we're
do.
both
And you look
from
the same too.
We do. We look
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
the same. It's so strange.
Brothers.
Yeah.
I thought so at the beginning.
But so I'm also from like Sacramento area, from Roseville. But 916 is like the area code. So like it was cool to learn that he was also from Sacramento. I was like, oh, you're also an animator from Sacramento.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually did like
So much in common.
I know. That's
You're an animator from Sacramento.
two things, you know.
Wow.
It's destiny.
Mhm.
No, you'll get weirded out the further we go down this
Okay,
rabbit
let's
hole.
keep going.
Keep going.
So yeah, I went to high school in Roseville, and they had a bunch of like art and actually like 3ds Max classes, which kind of got me interested in doing animation and stuff. And I think I just made that kind of leap of faith and saying like, hey, this is like something I want to do. Like I don't know what I want to do exactly, but I want to like make Pixar stuff or whatever, like Lord of the Rings special effects or something.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, did the same thing. Went to San Jose State, did Admitted Spartans Day, and they showed like a demo reel of like the school's work and stuff. And once I saw they had an assignment where it was like a cave troll walking, and I think Andrew Harkins, who's a like
I remember
brilliant
this animation.
he's a great DreamWorks animator now.
That's how great he is.
And I just looked at that and I was like, yeah, like that's actually what I want to do. And like did the whole like didn't live with art people for like the first like 4 or 5 years, and like lived a separate life until I had to start like staying in the lab later, and slowly it takes over your life. But what's funny is that Clam and I lived in the same. Well, I was asking him one night, like, oh, what dorm did you stay in? Oh, CVC. What room did you stay in? It's like, oh, 607. I was like, what? That's the room I stayed in, and this is 2 years apart.
Yeah.
You
Right.
were roommates and you didn't know.
And
Okay.
inside of this like suite is like 4 other bedrooms with 2 beds in each space.
Okay.
We ended up figuring out that we stayed in the exact same bed
Oh,
2 years apart,
that's awesome.
and isn't that weird?
Yeah.
All my animation talent was just mustered
Yeah,
in there.
I through osmosis through
Yeah.
my skin,
yeah.
I some of Clam's cells, went into my body.
And
They're
now-
inside you.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Um,
That was really weird to find out.
Yeah,
because-
that was
I don't
really
know.
strange.
That's like Sacramento
Yeah.
and put
But
us in the
so
same-
when I was going through like
Soulmates.
our school, this guy was like the golden child of like every class. Like he was like the hot, like
Wow.
I didn't
the
know that.
unattainable, like, oh, you'll never be better than like Chris Lamb's like walk cycle animation. Like,
Wow.
it's always like in the back of your mind. I don't know if you've seen it, but like the stuff he was doing in those basic classes was like better than every, like he did this whole like evolution. It was supposed to be a walk cycle, right?
Yeah.
And
the
he
first
did
assignment.
a whole like a evolution cycle of like a character going from like a tadpole walk to like a dinosaur walk to a human walk, and it was transforming and stuff, and I could
Dinosaurs.
barely even like do
Dinosaurs.
anything.
Wow.
Hey, yeah, dinosaur.
Yeah.
Over
I love dinosaurs.
achiever.
Me too.
But yeah, and so
I feel like Chris was very humble
yeah,
about
he
his.
is.
Because, like, you also were involved in a lot of projects that I think were really cool.
And his work is like really good. It's
Yeah.
like it's annoying.
The
It's like his drawings
Did
are
a
like
ton of
really
projects.
really
Oh,
freaking
you
good.
are an amazing designer, Chris.
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah, like
Oh.
in your like
He-
drawings.
He
and
does
illustrations
he
and
does it
stuff.
all. He does it all.
Yeah.
You know.
Eh.
But yeah, then I guess I just decided to go. Like I think drawing, like I was okay at drawing. Like I could do the 2D animation, but I really hated having to. It just was so tedious that like, and I was like more interested in doing technical like Maya stuff anyway. So I ended up making that choice, and then doing that, focusing on that, and going through BFA, and having to direct a student project and try and balance like a portfolio coming out of school, and facing the pressures of the reality of trying to be an animator.
We're still in school. Don't talk about reality yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The school was awesome. Like I loved going there.
Yeah, Alex was always
a social
you're
butterfly.
always
You
at the
were,
parties, always like, and parties were a good thing because
I was hanging
it was
with
your time.
the upper class.
Yeah, it
I
was your time to
dude,
like
I networked pretty
talk.
pretty
important.
hardcore,
That's
and like
important.
comrades. yeah.
honestly, it was like so worth it. Like
That's how I got to know you, I think, because I didn't really know you at first, but I kept seeing you around, like in the lab, and back then, he had long hair, right?
Yeah.
So Very,
Couldn't miss him.
yeah, couldn't miss him, but now he's indistinguishable.
Oh,
Just
God.
kidding.
But yeah, I didn't even take like Viz Dev courses and stuff. Like I ended up retaking Maya classes over and over just to like practice
Wow.
animation
Wow.
and like because I knew like I wasn't gonna be like, oh, I got an A on this assignment, like that means I'm good. Like it still sucked really bad. So but yeah, school was amazing. Like I definitely appreciated learning a lot about drawing. Like I think that's the most useful thing besides the Maya stuff. Like just learning how to draw and look at stuff and like be like, okay, this is like how you actually should draw stuff. Like this is why when you look at like a professional drawing and you look at your own drawing, you're like, what's pushing theirs to the next level? And I think that's like super useful like for everything. So
Also hones your design sense.
yeah.
Sense of design, I think, is a good, like, where those two cross. Like, 3D and 2D is, like, they both use design, and you still need to have an eye for that.
Mhm.
And so if you don't have a good 2D sense of design, you may also, like, struggle a little bit with 3D. Like, you might pose something, right, in
Mhm.
animation, in a 3D model, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, that looks great. But then if you kind of flatten it, and then you're like, oh, like, I can see where, like, this is not as appealing as if I pushed, like, certain elements.
Yeah. But I went through school wanting like just purely focusing on wanting to do a feature film route. Did you want to do games or film?
And film at first,
Like
for
3D
sure.
film? You wanted to do Pixar or whatever?
Yeah, that I think that's like what I geared my portfolio for.
Yeah. And which is tough because I mean obviously it's ultra competitive and like you need
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you need a lot of time to like put in and like learn how to put a reel like that together and like during school you have to balance a lot of that stuff. So a lot of it was like outside of class kind of study as well that helped that along. So
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, that's my school. Besides like the weird, I guess I'll say a highlight for my school career was working on we did a student film just on our own called Tamara, and it was like the first 3D.
I love that one.
It was like the first 3D.
I have it on
film.
DVD. I can
Wow.
show you, Josh.
Yeah, because I am still out of the loop.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to be like as general.
No, it's okay,
like,
it's okay.
So it was like our first 3D animated. I think no, maybe like the second because they did one with Andrew Harkins that had like the rig test thing. Or
Yeah, but from scratch.
yeah.
it
So like
was-
they fully like built the rig, built the sets,
Mhm.
everything, and like got a lot of feedback from like Pixar people on it and stuff. So it was really cool to be a part of that. And like that was with a lot of upperclassmen as well. And the stuff that I just learned by doing that, like being a part of that was awesome. And I did a lot of like short films before that with like Dave Chai does like 2D animated stuff. So I was very fortunate to be involved with stuff like that, but I was not an officer or I was a charity committee person.
Oh,
What's
there
that?
You go.
I like to give back.
Yeah, shout out to the Shrunken Headman charity.
Charity?
Yeah,
There's
man.
another.
Get some representation.
Oh yeah, that's like a whole separate cabinet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Fiona were like the first presidents of that or whatever. I don't know. It was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else to say. School was awesome. Like I liked doing a lot of the non-art stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like all my friends and stuff at the time were like, partying and like hanging out and like I felt very fortunate that I like was able to get experiences like that and do animation, like because animation does take a lot of time. Yeah.
I do feel like there is a time in the program where you decide like, okay, I'm serious about this,
Yeah.
and then you don't get to see anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, all
by-
your friends outside of the program are kind of like, where are
by
you,
that
man?
time
It's college.
by that time though they're
Yeah.
all graduated and you're like, oh yeah, I'm alone now.
Yeah.
Like, I should probably think about like finishing school, whatever. But I did a 6-year thing, so
Yeah.
Hey, we're all
Yeah,
yeah.
both.
Maybe that is just how much time it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
sorry
that's-
guys.
Yeah, well, I did 4 years.
Well, that.
Oh.
That's how Santa
That's-
Cruz was.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Because they no, they don't have an animation program,
No,
but
they
they
don't.
work with us. Our
They did the
animation
game.
program.
They did. Yeah. I
Tucker
wasn't in
Tucker
the game
talked
program.
about the
Yeah.
game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was in the art program where they were like, "You want to do what? No, figure out how to paint your feelings, idiot."
Did that,
It's
how did,
valuable.
Yeah.
how did they look on
Oh, my
your
feelings?
feelings? Was it like
Shit.
it just looked like shit smeared on a canvas?
Somebody might have done that already.
Yeah.
That's
Not-
the level
not
that
original.
people were doing. I have a
That's
story.
the
And it was like I call this
Look,
one
listen,
Mondays.
I took a sculpture class. I'm doing air
Air
quotes.
Wait,
quotes.
why? What was that?
And there's, all right, I'll tell the story. Somebody did like a cast. It was the
It's
section
back
we were
to
learning
school, right?
casts.
Yeah.
We never actually sculpted shit, to be honest. Like, it didn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to sculpt with clay, or maybe like carving out of a piece of marble. Not really. I wasn't expecting that, but at least clay, right? No, none of that.
What was it?
Found object sculptures, installations. We did that bit with the casting, and like there was a like that thing where it's like you make molds, blah blah blah. Somebody did like a cast of like a pillow, whatever, and it was like a group. Like it was not supposed to be a group project, but these two people like decided to like pair up and like do something together, like coordinate or something. And like it was a pillow, but then like it was a guy and a girl. And what the guy didn't know is that the night before, the girl went to the studio and poured blood of a certain nature all over the pillow.
Whoa.
Oh no.
And we're like, so what's the red?
Santa
and she's
Cruz,
like,
man.
that's menstrual blood. And the guy was also surprised. He didn't know that was part of his project. And I'm sure that got an A.
What did? Yeah. That's pretty committed.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's the kind of stuff that they like in Santa Cruz.
I wasn't bold enough to include that in any of my projects.
Your own menstrual blood?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was too risky.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
well, I visited Santa Cruz once.
It's pretty.
It's a pretty nice
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Pretty campus.
Got some nice traditions. Pretty big.
Yeah.
I just thought of.
I did a lot of hikes.
Yeah.
You should have been going to school.
Yeah. Tell me about
4
it.
years.
Too bad the art classes were always not enough space and too many people trying to get into the good ones. So hey, I basically had to learn everything afterwards.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Let me tell.
I've already told enough shit about like Santa Cruz on this
Oh.
podcast. Yeah.
I just want to tell one bunny
Story.
Like it was like the harshest thing I've ever seen in a class.
Mhm.
Was like I'm not gonna say who, but like someone was painting their forest for like there was like a forest assignment where it was like supposed to be like kind of like pretty realistic. The bunny did not like how this person was painting their forest for like a few weeks and they weren't making the changes, and so she said she sat down. She's like, let me sit down, because sometimes she would like sit and like paint on your painting to like show you how to do it. So she sits down and like dips, and I'm like kind of behind like watching this happen. She dips her paintbrush in red paint and just paints a big X over the whole thing.
Oh.
And
amazing.
she gets up and she goes, I think it looks better now.
Oh
And I was howling, laughing.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
I felt so bad for this person.
That
But
would
like,
destroy
So you were
me.
laughing.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was trying not to like show that I was laughing, but I was like crying, like holding back, like, because it was brutal. Like
And that person was like real crying.
I think they
Yeah.
were like pretty crushed.
I would be crying.
Yeah.
I think I think Bunny and I get along pretty well, because like I would laugh if she did something like that to me, because like some teachers would like be like mean to me because like they knew I could like take it. But like for like my forest thumbnailing thing, I would send Bunny. She was like, I guess they had a problem, like I don't know if it was your year, where people would paint magical forests or whatever, like animals and like glowing orbs of light like all over, because you had to do like a night version and a day version of the forest, and I think they were supposed to be like fairly realistic, or I don't know what the prompt was exactly, but those were like big no-nos. And so over one of the weekends, I think it was April 1st weekend, I sent Bunny these like really, I just did these like detailed like black and white mock-ups of like forests, and all of them had, it was kind of like more of a developed thumbnail, and I drew this like Loch Ness monster coming out of the river and like orbs of light all over, and she did. I don't think she even responded to me that weekend. But then the next time we had class, she was like, "And one of you thought you were really funny. Emailed Mr. Turner, like emailed me this."
She just called you
mock-up."
out.
And then she had a
projector.
projector.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And she put what I sent her up on the board.
Oh no.
And everyone was like cracking up like so hard, because everyone got it, and then she got it, but like she was like, and just a reminder, like, please do not do this or something like that. I was like, but I like doing that, and I think after that she kind of got, she could be a little mean to me.
I did feel like there were some students who got on their better side, or like they knew you were a hard worker or something.
Yeah, they
so
definitely would reward people who work hard.
Yeah, so like
Me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I think everyone has their different stories,
Yeah.
but they were definitely like
I think they're pretty
harsh.
I think they're pretty
first.
polarizing. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
Bunny
about
and
that much,
Courtney are like they founded the program, and then my year was actually like the last year that like got got to have them as teachers.
Oh.
And then they retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, had them for like one semester,
Yeah.
and then they retired.
They're like from the old school.
I hope
like,
they
Yeah.
don't listen to this, but I
illustrators.
have a lot of like
Funny
gratitude
stories.
for them. Like honestly, like I think I benefited a lot, and I know a lot of people maybe
Yeah.
didn't agree with that, but like I think I did. So
Some of us, at least, I feel like we appreciate it
Yeah.
in a way. And like you can
because
totally...
they're sometimes like meaner than like the reality.
Yeah.
Of, like, you go to a studio and you're like, just tell me it's shit, and then like they're like, no, just do this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It made it easier, like getting out of school. And at the same time, they would always, they would tell you what's wrong with your work and not like tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But I thought that was good because it made you think for yourself about like, okay, they're telling me like something's wrong. I need to find out or I need to figure out like what
You
I
figure
need
out the
to
solution
do
on
to-
your own.
Yeah. So it's not just like hand holding
Right.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I think some people could do that. They'd be like, fix this, and some of the like more passive people would be like, okay, yeah, like I'll just do what you tell me, right? Like,
Yeah, but that's like that is training, right? Because you
Totally.
can get a note from like a director, and most of the time it's like, don't do what they say, like do what they want. Like, no, you have to figure out what they want it to look like,
Right.
but it doesn't always relate to the specific note that you get. Like at when I was at Blue Sky, it was like I would do the specific note, but it would still be wrong, and like you had to like often redo stuff to make it look like how they wanted, actually like what they actually wanted from the shot.
Mhm.
So it was like, yeah,
And how
it was
did
kind
you
of like that.
end up discerning that, though?
Just guessing, going in, guns ablaze. You're like, oh, it's done. Look at this. This is what you wanted. I mean, you ask around. You ask for a lot of help from veteran people and like who like kind of know the ropes. But that's like that's a tangent there.
Yeah.
But I think I graduated. That's the
You
end.
graduated. Congrats.
I graduated.
There you go.
Yeah.
I guess my highlight was honestly just working on Tamara. Like that was just like an amazing thing. And by the way, like I checked, like sometimes I'll like Google it.
Mhm.
I think people like upload like pirated versions of it like on YouTube and stuff, and like one of them has like 6 million views, and I'm like,
Whoa.
what
That's good.
which is like pretty cool, like because most of the schools like Go Blondes or like Ringling like always had these like amazing popular like feature
Yeah.
quality, not feature quality, but like like close.
Is it on a Russian website?
Probably.
I think one of my animations got put up
Oh, yeah.
there, the Fox one, and then
Oh yeah.
it has more views than
Yeah.
like
Oh.
the actual video. Like we talk about like, oh yeah, we went to school, we studied animation, this was class, but there's a lot of other stuff happening on the
I don't want to incriminate myself though.
This is probably why I want to go in.
Some of my friends and friend groups, I was the voice of reason. I was the voice
You
of reason.
were the voice of reason.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
I think that's what I think people got that impression of me, but like
You're a good
Clam's
boy.
a bad boy
No, I'm not.
compared to me.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, one thing I want to say before we get into shenanigans.
Oh,
I just like I know I bring this point back all the time, but it's just because I want any listeners who are current students to really like take this to heart. But like I just feel like I didn't involve myself enough in school, and like you guys definitely worked on all these projects and stuff, and that's like so great. And I don't know, like what do you think made you do that, or like did you ever?
Dave Chai.
How'd you go about?
Dave Chai, peer pressure. He just like he sees
Well,
you, and under his gaze, you can't say no to helping out with this film.
I do,
I just
yeah,
kidding.
a little bit, because like, no, this is kind of true, but I did feel like some of it was like, it's like if you put yourself in that position, and it's not like a conscious thing.
Yeah.
It was just like the teachers would notice, and this maybe it might be different. Back then it was like Bunny and Courtney and Dave Chai would notice like, oh, this student's
Notice
doing
me
good
senpai,
stuff,
yeah.
And like yeah, I know Dave Chai does his summer films and he asks people to do it. I don't think it was on a volunteer thing like, hey Dave. I mean, I'm sure you could ask him like, can I work on your film? But I remember he emailed like some students and were just like, do you want to work on my summer film? And of course you're like, I'll quit my
Me.
summer classes. I'll
quit my job.
I'll start right away. And
I think it's great. Like,
but and like doing those projects is the other side of just doing school. Is like the academic part is like studying, being studious, and getting your work done. but the projects were definitely like, okay, now you're working with people. This is basically like kind of it's like simulating almost like
The studio.
a studio environment,
Yeah.
but where you can like mess up and everybody like personally. So
Was
like
the question why we did it?
why we were doing
Just kind of, I don't know, like
well, I mean, yeah. So I mean, it was always just an opportunity to be part of something.
I just wanted to be like
Cool.
Chris Lamb.
Don't
Get
we all?
my name and some credits.
Oh my god. IMDb. That's all we work for.
I mean, I think you do it. I did it just to like get better at stuff too. Like the Tamara thing was like a pretty big like undertaking, and I think that
Yeah, was that like a class or
it
did
was
you...
just Jason Marino and Craig Kitzman just ran this thing for a while, and
So how did you get involved in that? Did they have to ask you, or was it like
well,
volunteer?
I'm the best, so obviously they're gonna ask. I'm totally kidding.
We
I just
need to get Alex
I
Turner.
just give me no, I asked, and like I was very grateful that I was able to like help out with that. Like I only did one shot. Like
good.
it was took me forever, but like I did one shot, and like it was nice to bring that around to like CTN and stuff.
Oh wow.
And like have a nice like rendered unique thing, and like I got a lot of positive feedback for that. For like that was one of my best pieces of work for like a few years, which isn't good technically. Like you should be making new stuff, but that's again that was like kind of later on into school. But like like I did Dave Chai's or these like other students.
Yeah, and you were
Student.
Green Ninja, right? Like you
Yeah.
did Green Ninja to get.
No,
The
I
first
didn't.
one?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did later.
That was another like project run by Dave Chai, but it was during
Okay.
the school year.
I don't know. I think you just work. It's just like I wanted to work, and I wanted to do this, and
Yeah.
I thought it was a great learning opportunity and networking. Not networking, but like making friends and stuff. Like,
We got into the habit of making like short films alongside of our school. I don't even like looking back at it. I don't even know how we like were like spent that much time to do our schoolwork.
Yeah.
To like do all these like required presentations and meetings that the teachers always make us go to, and then like doing these short films
and then go to the skate park at
Yeah.
midnight with like 40s, and like
Wow.
with Alex Turner.
that was a great time.
It was- I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
see,
I was not a part of that.
I got way too much sleep in college. I should have been getting less sleep.
That no.
Yeah, that's a
I'm-
hotly debated.
that
Feeling a
might
lot
be-
the same. Like yeah.
Yeah.
That might be
Well-
the sacrifice, and I would sleep is good. You should sleep.
yeah.
I
Just
could
sleep
have
normally.
pushed myself maybe 50%
Oh,
more.
I'll say
I could have used a bit less sleep.
Yeah.
I think I got too much sleep.
so in our I had Dave Yee as a my first like animation class teacher. It was like the beginning 2D animation stuff, and like we had to make well, like our final was like a short film, and it was supposed to be like 30-second thing or whatever. And I pitched this idea of like a grandma like crossing the street and like being really slow, like blocking a car, and a guy in the car like getting mad at her. It's kind of the gist of this brilliant animation.
Oh, this is
And,
Oscar worthy.
Yeah, this is a Student Academy Award incoming. But it was like ended up being like a minute and a half, and I remember Davey telling me, he's like, you are never gonna finish this. Like, don't like change it. And I just stayed up for 3 days straight to just to spite
Prove it
him.
wrong.
And by the end of it, I was like literally like actually delirious, like seeing stuff.
Yeah, because
Which
I
is
mean
like,
that's what it is. I
Don't
think
do that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like that's everyone says don't do it, and then you do it, and
Yeah.
whatever. But
3 days is the equivalent of being drunk. I
dude,
think.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
but I finished it, and I think I impressed him. So, and yeah.
Maybe you just imagined it because
Maybe I imagined it. I don't know. We had lunch with him recently, so I think I'm still on his good
Okay.
side. Who knows? But he was.
Well, he had lunch with us first.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
best for last.
Ah.
That's not us though.
Well, I've never had lunch with him.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just a.
he's
teacher.
waiting till the very end.
Yeah.
Best for last.
Yeah.
For you.
Exactly. He's
Mhm.
waiting. He doesn't know
He's
yet.
saving
Yeah, he
himself.
doesn't know you, but like,
Wait, so
He
you
will.
you felt like you didn't involve yourself too much,
No,
or
not at all. I don't think so. Looking back now,
because
I
you were
don't
like
think so.
too cool?
I was too uncool. I was too like, I just kind of.
Oh,
I think it's because I'm from San Jose, so I was just with my parents.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
lived at their
Oh.
house while going. Yeah, Too comfortable. Too comfortable.
You
being
never
too, being too
Comfortable.
comfortable is a bit like a bad thing when you're trying to like learn. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
There-
true.
There is this. I just want to bring this up now. One of my favorite Mimi anecdotes, I guess, is
I
Or not
wanna hear it.
anecdotes.
I
I'm
wanna hear it.
scared.
Oh, I'm
no,
so
it's,
in.
it's not. It's fine. It's like there's for some reason Dave Chai or somebody was like recording in the hallway, and like I was like walking down with like this group of people, and like we were working on our projects, and we went to go get like Taco Bell or something or burritos, and for some reason someone was filming us, and I kind of at the corner of my eye like I didn't let on that I knew I was being filmed, but Mimi was in the hallway and she's eating some chips. Do you remember this?
I don't know where
Are you
this is
serious?
going.
Keep going with
If
this.
Wait, if this isn't you, this is gonna be so embarrassing for me.
It might not be me.
I think it's you.
Okay, what happens?
If it's
I-
not her, we'll cut it.
I
No, we're
walk.
keeping it
Oh,
in.
okay.
I think it's. I
Oh
think
my
it's you.
god, I want to know what happens
Okay,
with
I'll-
these chips.
Yeah,
I know.
so she's eating like a bag of chips, and like I'm walking down the hallway, like on camera. The camera's like tracking,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, without like missing a beat, I don't even look at her, and I just take the whole bag of, and I don't know her. I take the whole like bag of chips and like start eating them and like walking away, and then she's just left there like with her hands up in the air, and the camera is staying on you. I swear to God, it's you.
What a jerk.
You don't remember
I
this?
don't. I don't think
She
it's
blocked
me.
it out of her memory.
Or-
because it was-
Cut. If this isn't you, cut this whole thing.
No,
No.
it's staying.
No.
You just like randomly some poor Vietnamese girl out there just got her chip stolen for no reason.
That is
Oh.
robbery.
Why don't you try to find the
No.
footage?
Okay, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. Unless it's not you, then I won't. I'll be like, I can't find it.
Wow.
I swear to God. And I was
I
like,
don't think it's
Oh, this is so funny. Oh god.
no, yeah, that was probably somebody else.
And what
Damn, I was like so sure it was you for a second.
what compelled you to do that?
Well, because
Because it'd probably be funny.
That's just how. Yeah.
I
You really
get
don't?
it.
Actually, you know
I
what?
so get it.
I'm sorry for wasting your time. I don't think that was you. Never mind.
Oh, it's staying in.
I'll just say it was someone. I think I know who it is. Someone your height.
Would I be flattered?
No.
Oh no.
I don't know. What do you mean? Yes, of course.
Who was it?
I don't want to say.
It was Gun.
It was Gung.
Yeah, the gun's your height.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so that's where I met Gung. For your returning listeners, that
Oh, yeah.
the kooky character Gung, I met him.
Cookie.
I met him in my beginning animation class with Dave E. So that was,
Dave Yee.
and he did Gung did a great short film. I think it's a lot better than mine. Like he did this like prisoner.
The Prisoner.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
showed us that.
Whoa.
Were you
Yeah.
there when he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he
I
showed
did.
us that one.
It was good. Like at least compared to like the rest of our class too. Like,
Man,
it was-
I need to see this.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
nothing's better than yours, Clam.
Yeah.
okay?
I know.
Yeah.
Just to
We can't-
compare
we
it to
can't
my
all
own.
be
No, I'm
Clam.
just kidding.
Yeah.
What was your?
I've always tried.
What was your
Which one?
your like first 2D
Oh, for Dave E?
final film? Well, yeah, whatever that class was. Like,
R28.
yeah.
Would have been.
I didn't want to say R28 because he's I don't
Atomic bonding, and it was like these two atoms that were
Mhm.
trying to covalently bond.
Ooh,
I know that.
sexy.
Yeah. But then I characterized them like one's a guy, one's a girl, and they're like, oh, I need
You should have
a
made
certain
them.
amount of
You should have made them
atoms.
both boys named Adam.
Yeah.
I know.
How cisgendered
How
of you.
progressive.
Yeah.
Well, let's get it 'cause
Not
Adam.
progressive of me.
Adam.
Different
no, I
times,
get it.
guys.
I can't believe that wasn't you. I'm. Oh, I was so sure. Yeah. Never.
So embarrassed.
I know. Sorry. Continue.
So embarrassed. No. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
Now I wish you did have a Mimi anecdote,
Yeah.
but you don't.
I don't have any because I don't think we knew
Yeah, we
each other
didn't
in
know each
school
other.
very well.
I can
I probably have
say a
something,
Mimi
but-
anecdote if we want one.
Yeah. Give us all.
Give
the-
it-
I
give
can't
to
think of
us.
one now.
Aww,
I feel
what
like
a
so
tease.
many, though.
I feel like I do, but like I didn't. I didn't
you
really.
wait. I'll come up with
See,
one.
you can't
Yeah.
think of one, Alex,
Well-
because I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were-
I just wasn't there.
You're gonna say your parents' house.
I was
Yeah.
at my
So would
parents'
you like go to school and then like go back home, or like
Basically, yeah.
you wouldn't like spend nights in the
Oh.
lab or
No,
anything?
Not until
Uh,
my last week of my senior year.
I do feel like that's where people start clicking, like
Yeah.
making,
Because like,
like,
you're like
close
family,
friendships,
like you're
yeah.
all in that.
because you're like
together.
in the lab at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, we gotta get this done. Like we're so fucked, and then
Yeah.
you're just like you're so tired, but you know
Yeah.
you're all doing
Yes.
it together. I think that's like
Those people who were
it gets
with
clicky
me
a little bit
on that
huh?
project, I have recommended them countless times.
Aw.
Now
Wait,
imagine having that feeling, but for years, and like you know them so well for years, and because you've been delirious in the lab with them, and like I don't know. I think you should still get sleep, but I do value that. I do value that time, like that craziness. Of,
Yeah,
like,
I do too.
Who am I gonna run into working at like 1 a.m. when I'm working?
You can sleep after school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At my parents' house. Yeah.
When we don't have jobs.
Unemployed.
And we're struggling.
Oh, that's the next part.
All right. Well, I feel like I should just say, if this is a school thing, like, look out, students listening, don't compare yourself to like just your classmates. Like, compare yourself to yourself, and also compare yourself to stuff online that you're seeing, because like that was how I really grew. Was like I am now like a Vimeo fanatic, and like I learned so much by just like looking at other people's work and framing through it for animation, at least, like and not like concentrating on like what's going on just in my class. Like,
that's a good piece of advice. Yeah.
Because like you're gonna be competing with like
you're not
everyone,
just
like,
competing with the students that you're like working alongside.
And like that was like the big thing. Like I felt like a lot of people would focus on like just internal like school stuff, and like once I started looking like way more outside, like I felt like I learned a lot that way.
Like, there's more than just Chris Lamb out there.
Well,
not much, but
just kidding. No, that I agree. That's a good point. A very good point. There's a ton of amazing people out there, and you're just like, oh my god, I suck.
Yeah, I just gotta say, get yourself out of your comfort zone.
True.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Be uncomfy.
Mm-hmm.
Be uncomfortable.
But I also think
if you're getting too much
mantra.
sleep, get less.
Well,
okay, we don't condone that.
I think sleep is good.
Yeah.
Like,
you
a lot
should
of
be getting
mixed,
enough sleep.
like, you know.
But
sleep if you sleep, and don't sleep if you feel like you can do it.
As someone who just didn't push herself enough, just don't be afraid to push yourself.
My roommate, who was also in the program, he would be like, who? Okay.
Name them.
His name's Corwin.
By name.
Hi, Corwin, if you're listening.
Hi, Corwin.
But I remember we were living together, like, close to our senior year, and he'd be like, he's like, yeah, sleep is dumb. Like, I need to make the most of my time, so I'm just gonna, like, sleep here for 1 hour. And he set his timer, and then he would, like, get up and start working, go back to school and work.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, Corwin, like, you should, like, maybe, like, take a nap or something. He's like, no, like, that's dumb. Like, I'm gonna, like,
wait,
and Corwin,
this is Fiona's
brother. Fiona was his brother, and he,
I'm
Corwin,
sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Josh, it's Fiona's brother.
Yeah, Fiona, I know her. Obviously,
Hey, you might.
Corwin was one of, like, the top students in our class, too. Like, very amazing painter. Like, he's a viz dev artist.
Deep voice.
Yeah, deep voice.
It mattered a lot.
But he would go by like that mantra, like, I'm not sleeping, like, I'm gonna spend as much time as I can on this.
And
then
okay?
like a week later like a week later,
Okay.
I just see him passed out on our couch for like 5 hours or like thing, but then he would just get right back up and be like, all right, I'm refreshed, I'm going back to school, I'm going to work.
Jeez.
That's extreme.
That's not good for you.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
In retrospect, I think we all look at that and we're like, yeah, like those nights where I stayed up like 3 nights in a row, I think that's the max like people can do, like physically.
Yeah. No,
and
I
that was
remember
before
hearing that.
Red Bull. Like, I remember having my first Red
They
Bull.
invented it?
Well, no, sorry. Like before
Is this
I ever had a Red Bull.
okay.
Like, I was just, I don't even know if I had coffee or anything at that point. But like,
I never had coffee in college.
I remember like my
Really?
first night having a Red Bull and being like, it was like my senior
It's the
year,
only
and I was
time
like,
I had coffee.
this is amazing. Like, I couldn't believe the power I had access to.
Yeah.
That's when I
I
discovered
was like-
coffee. It's
I
the
was
same thing.
like, what?
When I started working.
Oh, wow. I mean, like, yeah, the only times I've ever stayed up that late was in school. And that was for just finals.
Yeah.
Or something. You know, got that deadline.
So I can't ask about couch and potatoes?
That's a
That
school
was
project.
a school thing.
That was a school project.
He
So
did
I
that.
can ask about
He was
that.
acing all these classes doing amazing animation.
I just
and
watched that
did
today.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should talk about
I
it.
can never watch that, like, in a room with people. I can watch it by myself, but not with people.
I was just watching
Because
it. I
there's
was
just
like,
a scene.
Well, so
in
go
there
ahead
I
and-
yeah,
can't-
well, there is a scene in there.
Go
and
ahead
it's
and-
like I'm watching it at work. For God's sakes. I was like, this
They
is
need 'em.
gross.
They need 'em.
Wait,
Yeah.
but set up. You should explain like what it was or something. Or what you
my,
think.
was
my
to
summary
you,
of it,
yeah.
or what it was to me.
So this is
well,
this
okay.
is
I was
plans-
like,
plans-
well, I should I was telling Mimi I should know our guests.
Oh, right,
you
right.
know them, I don't really. So she sends me both of your like Vimeos pages or whatever.
Oh.
God.
And then next I watched the 2D animation you had with like the fox. Very good.
Oh yeah.
Backfire
That
Foxy.
went
Yeah.
kind of like viral for a bit.
Really?
It got a lot. It got some hits
On
when it was
animation.
going.
Viral for animators anyway.
Some guy from Blender or whatever,
Yeah.
or working on Blender, was like, hey, "Can I use this
Yeah.
and recreate it?"
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, and he did a cool
Yeah.
job. Grease box or whatever.
Yeah. So I was gonna like
Pencil.
at least watch one thing. Like I watched your reel, so like a selection like bits of things, right? And I watched the fox thing, but then I saw the thumbnail for Couch and Potatoes, and I thought, I'm gonna watch that. What is this? It looks like stop motion. It's these two characters who just live on a couch, do everything on a couch. Everything. Just this ingenious life of a slothiness.
They're smart.
They're smart. They're
Yeah.
smart about being lazy.
Yeah,
And
that was the point of the movie.
yeah, and
He gets you.
they
so
they,
glad
they
to
have
hear
to
this.
go out of their comfort zone because they broke their couch doing something,
Doing
something, and they got to go to that scary outside world, and and then they like survive that and get back.
Yeah. So disclaimer: anyone who wants to go watch it, just watch. Make sure you're in a like nice
Don't do it at work.
private location. You know.
I'm gonna watch it on my
Yeah.
monitor at work, full screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, I mean, I wish there was a way to tell people about that before, like,
Yeah.
having people open it at work and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Oh, it's my
'Cause I'm sure
student
that's what
project.
I'm sure that's what people at like when I was applying for studios, because they would link to my Vimeo.
You didn't hide it?
Yeah, would probably watch that at
Oh,
work
God.
thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're like, oh, check out this candidate.
no
They
warning.
watch this thing. Yeah.
No warning.
I figure most people would watch like the first couple minutes and
Right.
like, okay, I get it, right?
Right.
Like if they really want to watch it, go at home. But I guess there are some people, probably watch the whole way through. And if they get to like the middle, that's where you gotta be careful. But oh my God, yeah, that was
I was entertained.
Cool, though. Very
Yeah.
cool.
that was in school. That was my last year. I think the summer before my senior year. Me and my girlfriend at the time wanted to do a stop motion project because there wasn't many resources at San Jose State to do that. So we were like, okay, like let's figure out how we could do this, and it kind of just went. It put us in this rabbit hole where we did all this like resource gathering and trying to prep that we went so far. It's like, well, we can't not do this now, right? Like it'd be such a waste of a summer to like research all this stuff and then like not do it, right? So it was a claymation, and she built all the sets. Like she was really good at taking everyday material, like kind of like a junk box of stuff, and then just like making something really cool with it.
Right.
And then I was like more like doing the storyboard and the characters and building the puppets for animation. So that was our summer, and I cannot believe that like we didn't finish in the summer. So we had senior year of school, and I had to like switch my gears. And then I think like I wrapped up my portfolio in May, and I was like, I gotta finish this film, right? It's not done.
You can't
And-
leave that unfinished.
Yeah, and
Especially if it was around the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were in the
So-
middle of a
so-
specific frame, and he's like, I cannot leave it here.
Untouched
cannot
for
leave it
months.
untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because we had to like. I remember our apartment, which I shared with Corwin and another roommate, and we had to like.
It's a
We had
mess.
to take over the living room, and I had to black out like all the windows with like these blankets, and it got really hot in there because it's just like super insulated.
Yeah.
I love
And-
it. I love it.
and
Like
it-
an animator's.
Yeah.
It was like
apartment.
either
I love it.
a serial killer or a soundstage.
Yeah, I'm just so glad
It's a
that
lot of overlap.
they were
Well,
cool.
yeah.
Weird.
And I had to borrow all this like camera equipment and studio lights from the RTVF or
Yeah.
whatever program
Uh-huh.
at San Jose State. We begged them. We're like, we're working on this student thing. Like, can we just borrow like
It's
some studio
monumental.
lights?
We need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get
It's
it
gonna
done.
blow your mind.
They were cool about it. They were like, yeah, here. I was like, can we have this for the whole year? They're like, yeah, just give it back when you're done.
Nice.
So with all that, like, we stopped during the summer, and then the room just stayed like that for a whole year.
Holy shit.
Because like I didn't want to tear it down in case I was like ready to work on it again.
Right.
So
you just suffered through that.
yeah, like we couldn't use the living room because it was just like don't touch anything. Like
It's kind of like my dining table. It's turned into like the podcast table.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This
like,
is much
want
less
that.
creepy.
Yeah.
than
So
the
a story about
claymation set.
that scene that we're talking about. I mean, should we just say what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So
if you guys
basically-
haven't caught on to the innuendo.
Yeah. So
Innuendo.
it's basically like they do everything on the couch, including like having sex, right?
Sex.
So yeah, woo!
Ooh.
Fresh on your mind in college, right? So no, so it's funny because I was like working on that scene, and even I was like, oh my god, I can't believe
What kind
like
of sounds were you making? Like you like play the drum or an instrument or something, and like your face does this thing. Like when you're animating like people like characters having sex, do you go like
well, but it's stop motion, so it's very like slow.
like pose?
No,
You're like
no, no.
well, you're like posing them. And you're like just like that, like, just a little bit.
Well, when you're
That's
drawing the
way
facial
you want
expression,
it.
you're making the expression
Exactly.
sometimes. So like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
And I remember like my friend who we actually work with now. It's so weird because I
Is it
just
Emily?
call them my friend. Yeah, but they're my coworkers, my classmate. They lived upstairs and they came down to get something, and I was like in the middle of like working on this scene.
playing with your toys again.
Yeah.
Clam.
They opened the door and they're like,
Am
hey,
I,
do you want to go
am I
grab it?" I'm
interrupting
like,
something?
I'm like,
Posing
oh
one,
my God.
bending over, like
yeah. I was like, close your eyes. And then, but I couldn't like
Stop.
move them or
Yeah, yeah.
anything
Yeah.
because
you'd lose the.
yeah, I'd lose the whole thing. So I was just like,
Yeah.
please, like, bear with me. You caught me in the middle of this scene,
Oh,
Oh,
no.
man.
and
That's amazing.
yeah, that was weird looking back at it, like, and that's why I cannot watch that movie like in front of
Really?
people. Yeah, it's just too weird for me. I spent
Well,
however
'cause-
like a day making that.
I think it's like that. Maybe that thing too, where it's like if I see like my own work, I can only see like myself in that work or whatever.
Right.
And like it must be very awkward to see people watch you something that you
Think about
done.
you doing that.
Oh.
and then yeah, like but like nobody thinks about that really. It's just you thinking people think like they know I thought about this whole like
Yeah.
what
They
position
know
to
I
put all these
about
characters in
sex.
and like yeah.
I would just say it was a pivotal point in the story. So it's not like
It
it's
is.
there
Yeah.
for a random
It was
reason.
it was a plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, I'm like, okay, this is like when I was like, oh, I can't believe people draw like hentai or whatever,
I
right?
can't
Like
believe that.
how could you do that? That's so weird. But then here I am,
And you're not
Artistic.
and you weren't even getting paid.
I know. That film though went on like we did a festival
Yeah, it did
circuit.
really
It did
well.
pretty well actually. I think all the money we spent on it, actually we made it all back from, and that includes like submitting it to festivals because you have to pay a lot out of pocket just to like submit to festivals,
Really?
and I think
Yeah.
it all kind of balanced out.
You
what's the
broke
word?
even?
Broke even, yeah.
Wow.
It broke even, and maybe
Broke a
we
couch,
made
too.
some money because like the last thing we
Like
won
you
was
mean.
like.
I got you.
The one thing, yeah, go watch it.
Yeah,
you'll
did you get
understand
it?
it all.
Yeah.
The one we won like
Include a link to this
I
on
will,
the website.
I
by the way.
will.
Yeah.
Oh, now everyone's gonna watch it.
I know.
Yes.
we won the Society of Illustrators like student animation,
Oh, really?
which was like
Damn, dude.
$750
Woo.
like prize or whatever.
Dude,
That's
you
awesome.
can
And then-
retire.
We also got nominated for
Like, student,
not nominated. We were in the running for like
Student Academy.
Student Academy Award, but eventually we got snuffed out by like all the amazing artists there.
Yeah,
I was even surprised.
That's your second film though, right? That was in there.
Well, I had worked on a bunch. It's not second.
Third.
Well, that was the one I worked on by myself, but I had worked on a bunch of like student films in school. No Robots, Bloom.
Maybe you've heard of
yeah.
it.
I have them all on DVD.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh, really?
there's
Oh.
there's
Yeah.
some
I do.
Shrunken Headman
Somewhere.
classics actually. The thesis projects that they do in school, which is like I guess the senior class will go and come together and make a group, whatever that word is.
Coagulate.
Coagulate.
Yeah, I don't know.
love the word
It's a
coagulate.
great word.
It's a
So they
Congeal.
so they do that, and then they figure out like a project, like either a short film or a comic, or they're doing some crazy stuff now. Like I'm amazed by it, by the way. And they did that because they saw like a lot of our classes, like me and Alex's classes, were doing a lot of short films on our own because we wanted to have that experience, but there was no formal way of doing that in school. And so we kind of organically formed and did that. And I think they were like, "Oh, we can make this like a requirement for school." So sorry
Yeah.
to anyone who hates those thesis projects.
Anything when it's like a required, like it's cool, and then like if it's a
Yeah,
required thing,
do
then it
feel
becomes like less like fun to do.
I do feel
or
like that's the
something,
thing. Yeah.
I get that.
Because when it's not required, you're just like doing like random
And
like
you do it because you want to do
like
it.
that couch thing, you know?
Yeah.
That was just like
If that was required.
no teacher would have been like, "What are you doing?
Well,
like,
yeah.
why?"
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that.
Yeah.
See, that's
I don't think it is,
cool.
but
Check it
I think-
out.
we'll stop there.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very special that you guys like sought out these projects on your own
Yeah, I wish I'd sought out more. Wait.
or created,
Seeked out
even
more?
created
Sought out?
these things.
Sought
on your
out,
own. Yeah.
I think.
I would have benefited from doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you ever have the opportunity, like, do it. Or if you have an idea, like, do it. But obviously, you know your own time. So
And I think people are just different. Like
yeah.
I was a little more outgoing, and I think it was easier for me to kind of have access to that. Like
Yeah.
than
You can
someone...
go ahead and say you were cooler.
No, definitely not cooler. I don't think there's anything wrong with you just focusing on like your own thing. Like there's a lot of really successful professionals now that are like that, and like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that like if you want to, a quick way to make friends or learn that stuff, like you have to go out of your comfort zone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Cool.
about making friends, this is where like shenanigans would be good. My classmate started this pie thing this one year, where for people's birthdays, like we would pie people on their birthday. Like it's the end of the school year, and we're at the school picnic, right? And like the school picnic, we have a Shrunken Headman picnic at the end of the year, and we all go to this park and like celebrate the end of school. And it's also where the new officers like initiate each other. They'll do this paddle tradition
Oh God.
where they spank them.
They spank them.
Yeah, they
Oh,
spank the new
college.
officers in, and
Good-
then you take
good
a
old
picture.
college
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I missed all that. I never got paddled.
I'm glad they still do that.
And
if they
well,
yeah.
I think
I feel like they don't really hit each other, do they? No.
Oh, I hit my.
Yeah,
I
'cause, like,
had. Who did I have?
Some people like
I
really
hit
got
my
hurt.
guy really
like,
hard.
Not really got hurt, but
Yeah.
Who did you get
Spank?
to spank?
Who did I get to spank?
Yeah.
Paddle, not spank.
Paddle,
Different.
sorry.
Who
Who
would it
did you
been?
paddle?
Who
You don't
would it
remember?
have Been?
Vice President?
Yeah, Vice President
who's
of
Hillary's?
Hillary's
Lauren?
cabinet. It was a guy, I remember,
guy?
and I
How do you
tried
not,
my
how do you
hardest.
not know?
I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. I remember going for it though.
If I spank a guy, I'm gonna remember his name.
I know.
Paddle.
Paddle.
Oh, sorry.
Paddle.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. With the paddle.
So we were taking pictures, and then people are kind of like, starting to move away from me, and I was like, like, come on, we're taking a picture. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this pie comes right into my face, and then I was like, oh no, I just got pied, right? And I was like, I get it, yeah, it's my birthday too. And then a second pie comes, because what Phil started doing is that every time, like, the next person would always get like pied by the previous people. So at the like climax of this whole thing, it went on for another year, and Dave Chai was like all about this. He's like, yeah, like I'll help you. Like we should do it this time, and like like I'll just like call them out for class for something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think at the end there was like 14 pies or something for
That
one person
is
or something.
amazing.
And this
Yeah.
is like, I wasn't a part of this, but I would see the videos and I would be like, oh, they're so cool. Like, look how cool they are. Like,
That was all Phil's shenanigans.
I just want to
but
be a part of that.
we were all a part of it, and
Some
like
pie
even
FOMO.
people even. So some people even got to the point where they would come up to us and be like,
Phil got pied in
don't-
the shower.
"Don't punch."
Right?
No.
Or he pied
One of
some-
our friend Marvin, we
Oh,
got him in the shower.
Marvin was pied in the shower.
because we had this.
That's
he,
the best place to get pied.
He
You
had
can
this.
sit out front of it. Yeah.
He had this unique apartment situation where his shower had 2 doors to it, so you could lock one door,
Okay.
and then the other door you could unlock from some other
room.
person's room.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I don't
that's
like
how
that design in the shower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it worked
Well, it
perfectly.
was the bathroom. It wasn't just the shower.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember.
either way.
When we did that too. Phil was like,
It made parties there very interesting because you'd be like, oh my god, somebody's gonna walk in,
Yeah.
like from some door.
yeah, while you're peeing or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And I remember like Phil was like, okay, first person to pie it, like make sure you like pie his privates, so like we don't have to see
Oh
it.
my goodness.
And luckily
They
when
were
we
very-
pulled
they
the
were very-
shower,
They were very close.
he was facing away from us instead of like at us.
Oh, good.
So those
Well-
were the shenanigans I like miss kind of about
Yeah.
school. Like it's sad that we can't really do that
I
anymore.
wish I
but-
had those shenanigans,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Ho-
I never went out to anything.
Did you
Oh,
get?
yeah.
But important question: did they get his privates?
Well, so since he was turned around, it was his ass.
Oh, okay.
And so we did pie that just in case. But
okay.
like we were aiming for that region, but
Okay, yeah.
like luckily
And then you
we
turn
didn't have
around
to
and
see
you got him
anybody.
again.
Yeah. And then
Alright.
one right in his face.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, I just needed to know how that panned out because you like kind of left me on a
Suspense.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I should
And
find
then
that.
we saw his ass, and then like I didn't get to
And then we-
find out what happened next.
I should find these videos because
Yeah.
it's on Vimeo somewhere. I
Really?
think someone has it on their Vimeo, and it's like this montage. They made like a montage of all of them with like music and everything.
Wow.
And they're like crying.
And
I
these
don't-
are like classmates, right? It would be
Yeah.
like you go to,
Yeah, yeah.
work hard, play hard
Yeah.
Yeah.
type my
That's
We even
mentality.
did like a few pies indoors that Bunny was like,
Get out
we
of here.
can't, you guys can't pie people indoors anymore. Like that's unacceptable.
hard
And we're
rule.
like, oh shoot, like we upset Bunny.
And then you pied Bunny.
So it was all just like outside from then on in. Yeah. But yeah,
You didn't do anything?
nothing like
not
that.
not even to your parents. You didn't like.
Yeah, I.
You didn't go over there taking a shower and pie them. Mom,
Happy birthday,
ah,
Mom!
got
Yeah,
you.
I saw you guys do that, and I was like, oh, that's such
Yeah,
a good idea.
yeah.
I gotta do that myself.
My parents will think this is so funny.
Apparently, like some people thought it was a tradition. So
Oh.
like some freshmen recorded like in the dorm
Ooh,
rooms they did that to
copycat.
somebody. Yeah,
Wow.
they were
Nice.
Shrunken Headman
Really?
freshmen, and
They
they
saw
thought
the cool upperclassmen
Yeah.
doing it. And
Yeah.
I think they thought it was like this is what our program does,
Yeah.
or the animation program.
And there's no
So we
GPA
got
to
it.
stop me.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I mean Halloween parties were always fun.
Yeah, a
Uh,
lot of really fun parties that were eye-opening, I'll say. Just like,
Get to know your
Yeah,
classmates.
yeah, and you realize, like, everybody's, people. Like, they like to have
It's
fun.
good. You
and,
build it's a network.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
My favorite like were the end of the school year screenings, and then like
You get drunk at
Yeah.
like 8 a.m.
you would have
Sorry.
to find out whose house it was, but someone's house would always have like a pre-screening party. And this
Yeah.
is like 9 a.m. in the morning or
Oof.
whatever, and you're just because end of the year, like no more classes, everyone's just like getting hammered, and then you go to the screening,
Just
and you're
tequila
just like,
sunrises. and
yeah. You're just blurting out absurdities, like when someone's name comes up, you're like, boo! Like,
And this is like their final project.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hope
they
they're
spent
you,
all this time on.
you hope their parents didn't come to San Jose State to like watch this
Yeah.
final thing.
Yeah.
Come to my screening, like this. We're showing all our
Our
work.
son is hated.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we booed when your name came
Nah, I
up.
think if you got loud boos, it just meant people liked you. so-
Grandma fainted.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, those were fun,
Yeah.
and I feel like all the studying like that sometimes like you hear about school and you hear about all the like okay this is what you should do
I've
in
heard of
class and blah blah blah.
I've heard of
You've
it,
heard
yeah.
so much, but like those little things that you did that you memories kind of with your classmates.
Yes.
Those little things that you did, memories kinda.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Hey, I'm,
gonna be
I'm
a
talking and
tagline.
thinking at
Of
the
this
same time.
episode, yeah.
No, but seriously, that stuff is so important. And
Wait, is it?
what?
We should have invited you to more things like this, Mimi.
Yeah.
This is why I brought you guys on. I wanted
We,
to confront you.
we thought-
Yeah, this isn't an intervention. She wants to be invited to all the parties.
Well, you're invited from now on.
Yeah. See.
Oh,
Maybe you
Shenanigans.
can go back
I-
now and
I
just like
wish.
go to the
Yeah, go to school.
go to school functions and be
Just-
that person and be like, yeah, I'm an alumni. Like I got connections in the industry. What's
Yeah.
up?
I could pass as like college
Do a
student.
tequila
Yeah,
shot.
Yeah, do
Who
a
wants to
tequila
do?
shot.
Who wants to do a cake stand?
Yeah. Just me with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this giant
Brings a cake.
cake everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's that's a
should.
good way to.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah,
I'm
I
Mimi.
should.
Yeah.
You should do a cake stand.
I
Have-
should
have
actually
you-
go
have-
back and like encourage kids.
I would
to, like,
pay
Have you done a cake
good
stand?
money
No,
to
I
see you
haven't.
do a cake stand.
How much money?
I have not done one either.
Good money.
You never done one?
No.
Even
I
just-
watched people, my freshman roommates.
Have you done one?
No.
All right, well, we know who here is the wild child. Who to guess?
Sorry, Mom, and actually my dad would be proud.
Cool.
Yeah,
Give you a high five when your mom's not looking.
yeah probably.
Jeez.
No, but I'm serious. It's good.
I think it is good.
to
Like,
form bonds and
Yeah,
Yeah.
school and
that
stuff.
is actually what it is about. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
forming that friendship.
all that stuff though is like why I am glad that I went to San Jose State.
Yeah.
And like, cause I mean, I 6 years of it, so it's like I had a lot of like really good times there, and like a lot of it was outside of class, but I do appreciate that they actually taught me a lot. So
Is that
Yeah.
part 1?
I think
Yeah.
that's part 1.
Any like takeaways for back to school, you guys?
Oh yeah.
take
Don't
away.
sleep.
Sleep, but don't sleep.
Okay.
Oh my god, I don't know. I would say get a decent, like 3 to 6 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
minimum. Now that's a big stretch, but I've heard that sleep goes in like kind of like
Cycles?
3-ish hour
Yeah.
cycles, and they're about three hours. Because if you like wake up in 3 hours, you might feel like okay, but if you woke up in like 4 hours, you'd be like, oh my god, I'm so tired.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know, like 6 is great, and like 8's ideal.
What are you talking about?
3 sleep.
You're
Like
rambling
in
about-
school. I'm serious. No, like this is
This is the sleep
advice.
science portion of the,
Yeah.
the podcast.
It's advice, like
Yeah. Advice for students.
like
You're just saying numbers.
no, like 3 hour
Yeah.
sleep.
3 hour increments.
Yeah.
Like
How do you-
3, 6, and 8.
Yeah.
3 hour
What
increments.
about 7? How are you
Hey.
feeling about 7?
Yeah, that's
Seven-
not 3
seven
hours.
and
7 is what I get.
7.5.
So
I feel like
terrible
7,
idea.
I feel like 7 is the 3 hour, like 2 3 hour increments, and you're just off a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
Let's embrace it.
All right,
What a great takeaway.
What's your back to school
Take it away.
takeaway, Alex?
Look outside of just your classes. Like, if you're an animator, like check out Vimeo. And I'm kind of a hypocrite when it comes to this because I don't have like Twitter or Instagram or anything. Go on those websites and like do all that stuff because that's where everything's at now. It's like amazing, like how much access you can have to people, like professionals, even to like look
For
at
sure.
your work. So
Yeah.
I would also say outside of like art stuff too.
what?
Like just if you have a hobby or you have an interest, like go do more of that too while you're in school, because I think it's going to give you more inspiration for your pieces, for your project, for your art, and it's going to give you that extra like individuality to kind of separate yourself from like all the same projects that everyone has to do. Because I feel like the hardest part sometimes is thinking of your idea, and I feel like if you have like a natural like interest in something else, it's always easy to like pull from that and be like, I love what
Dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
And I'm gonna do a super awesome badass 3D sculpture of this dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll be the dinosaur kid.
Yeah.
And you also just need to go out and have experiences. 'Cause
That
if
too.
you're just in a bubble, you're not going to get any ideas.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
hmm Yep. My takeaway is have experiences, like especially when you're in school.
Yeah.
It's such like a valuable time where like all of your friends are there together and your classmates.
That's
And
all
just-
Mimi was doing. She was too busy having experiences
No,
and
I
not
was
join our
not.
party.
I was too busy being a loner. But yeah.
Oh.
You just gotta take advantage of that special time.
Well, don't go crazy. But
Well,
have
I
it?
mean, like experiment. Like,
Yeah.
like it's your time to
Experiment.
do projects.
Oh.
Like, if you have an idea, just get some friends together and like do a project together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh.
My advice for
What's
students is, I mean, it little bit piggybacks of everything we've said, but you get out of school what you put into it. I think I've said that before. So whether it's like seeking out outside projects or having those experiences to like enrich your sort of like pool of memory or creativity, or whatever else, like just do that. Like put effort in your work, otherwise nothing's gonna improve. So do that.
Good.
That's good.
Stay cool, be humble, and
No,
succeed.
and don't be a dick to people.
Don't be a dick.
I think
Be nice.
I think Gandalf said that.
Yeah. he said,
Don't be a
don't be a
dick,
dick, Frodo.
Frodo Baggins. Anyway.
We should stop.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This is probably like a 2 hour.
Oh, and also,
Well-
yeah, so this was part 1, back to school.
And thank you guys so much for having
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you
it's
guys
fun.
so much. And please come back again for part 2 where we, talk
We'll
about
get
adult
into
life.
the real stuff.
Yeah.
The real stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we
This was
know
just The
everything.
Hobbit. The next one's gonna be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, past Clam's bedtime. We gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys again so much for joining us. This is Cadmium Dread. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Cadmium Dread.
Mm-hmm. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and now YouTube. You can look us up on YouTube now.
Yep.
And yeah, don't eat the paint.
Don't eat the paint. All right, bye. You guys gonna say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I didn't know if we had to wait.